Hi, I'm James Schillinglaw, and I'm here at ILTM Con. I'm here with a familiar face, Roberto Martinelli, who is with Silversea Cruises, President and CEO. And we're going to talk to him about a very special announcement that they just made, and it really is very groundbreaking. And you'll find out about that and more on Insider Travel Report. Roberto, it's great to see you. We were here 2 years ago and we were talking about some other innovations, but this is a pretty special time. You have a new ship coming out with, Norton earlier said, it's another ship, right? you got Dawn coming out pretty soon. Sure. You just had Moon that came out this summer. But this is a ship called Nova. And tell us about this ship if you could.
Well, of course, Nova for us is a very exciting project. Is a revolutionary project, I would say. We call it evolution, but is almost a revolution, I would say. And I think that the number one thing is about sustainability. The ship is absolutely designed in a very innovative way. The energy production system is a multi-hybrid. So we will.
What is a multi-hybrid?
Well, a multi-hybrid is that you have different sources, and different fuels and different way of producing energy. So the ship fuels are marine gas oil and LNG. So LNG is already for a ship that size is quite a big novelty.
This will be your first LNG, right?
It will be a first LNG and a first LNG of that size, more or less. And the other thing is that not only do you have like LNG and marine gas oil, but you also have the ability of producing energy with fuel cell. So you can produce the fuel for fuel cell out of LNG. And the most important thing to mention is that the power that is produced by the fuel cell system will be able to sustain the ship while in port, which means that you will be absolutely local zero emission.
So you won't even have to connect to a shore port power source either?
We will have that ability too, because among other things we will also have the ability to hook up to shoreside if we want to. But we can produce energy for ourselves without any emission in at all.
Now, how large will this ship be?
The ship is a 54,000 GRT. A little bit bigger than our Muse Muse class, let's put it that way. 728 passengers. So the reason why the hull needed to be a little bit larger to accommodate all of those propulsion systems. So as we had to build a bigger hull, also the accommodation are a little bigger than that, but with very innovative design. You will see that the ship has, first of all, an asymmetrical design, which means that similarly, I would say, to some other of the most recent ship of the Royal Caribbean Group. So you don't have like a longitudinal line and everything is equal, port and starboard side, but the shape of decks is different. And for example, the pool is like a horseshoe and is facing outside on one side of the ship, which gives a great sense of space. And the other thing that is very revolutionary, I would say, is the steel structure is all built inside of the hull, which means that on every deck, whether it is cabin or public spaces, there is a lot of glass walls. So there is a lot of inside to outside view, which makes, of course, cruising even more exciting.
Yeah, because you got the outside coming in and it's great.
Absolutely, yes. And last but not least, this is going to be what we call an horizontal public spaces design and not vertical. Our ships so far, they have all the cabin forward and all these public spaces after. The ship will have public spaces that will be throughout the length of the ship, so there will be 3 to 4 decks with public spaces. And the same
it seems it's kind of the trend in larger ships to have there's 3 decks of sort of entertainment, public spaces, bars, restaurants, right?
Yeah, and of course this is it works very well in terms of utilization of public spaces because you have to go up and down, but you go horizontally and there is a better communication among different spaces.
We're not talking about big atriums or things like that.
There is going to be an atrium.
Okay.
We can't do it as big as the big ship because we are smaller, but there's going to be a very interesting atrium design. Not as of the same dimension, of course, because we are small ships, but there will be an atrium also as well. Yeah.
And I get a sense, since this will be a slightly larger ship for you, that you could have some pretty big suites in there too.
There will be big suites, and also the big novelty is that on the after part of the vessel, where we don't have suites normally, there are suites that have very big balconies with also some other feature outside like big jacuzzis and stuff like that. So it's going to be, there will be a new type of suite that we don't have on the other ships.
Very exciting. And now I assume you're going to feature a lot of some of the same dining venues that you have now on the other ships, or
absolutely, yeah.
Maybe a few more.
We are taking dining to the next level, I would say. But the concept of dining is very much in line with the great success that we had on the Silver Moon. So it's going to be the salt experience on the Silver Nova will be taken to the next level. The content is similar, but the spaces are now, because we are working on a blank sheet of paper on a new ship, they're going to be moved up to the upper decks with incredible views, fantastic spaces. It's going to be, I would say, an improved salt experience, if possible at all, because again, we are extremely happy on how salt developed on the Silver Moon.
And right now it's on Silver Moon, and it's going to be on Dawn, I believe.
It's going to be on Dawn, and there will be further steps also on other ships of the fleet.
And then you have your brand new wellness concept. I assume that's going to be on board as well.
Yes, absolutely. The new wellness center, and there again we are starting from scratch. So, on the Silver Dawn we redesigned the spa, but still with the borders within certain limits. On the Evolution is something totally new, and you will see Otium on the Dawn this coming spring, and it's a concept that we've been thinking a lot about it, and we've been working a lot. I mean, that was a brilliant idea of our marketing team and operation team, but was also validated by our guests. And the idea is to have some sort of an indulgence also when you go to the spa. Is very much appreciated, and people, have expressed a great positive feedback, and we also profited of using that to kind of resurrect some of the things that we were already doing, but in a better way, like the pillow menu, a new mattress, using the balcony as an experience. So when you are like in cold water, in a cold water operation, being served on a cashmere blanket, hot chocolate on your balcony.
Sounds very attractive right now. We're just
type of things, truffle popcorn when you watch a movie, or having an incredible bath organized by your butler when you come back from an excursion. Those are all things that will be part of this, very exciting project that we have.
And I assume with Salt and with Otium, you're going to roll that through some of the other vessels in the fleet eventually, right?
Yes, absolutely. Yes, we will. The prioritization is, of course, to start with the new ships that are coming out with that, and then, of course, we are refining it. And the next step will be, go to the rest of the fleet to the extent possible, which is going to be quite, quite everything will be replicated, is possible to replicate. Yeah.
Now the big question, when is Nova coming out?
Nova is coming out next summer, so she will come out of the shipyard in June, and she will start operating out of Southampton in July with some inaugural, and the first cruise will be in Lisbon on, I'm trying someone to suggest me, 15th of July 2023, yes.
15th July 2023. So you got the next ship out is, of course, Dawn, which is going to be next March.
Which is, out of the yard already, but she will start operating in April 1st in Lisbon. And
then literally a year later, you're going to have Nova.
And literally a year later, we will have Nova operating out, on 15th of July of 2023.
Well, it's amazing, and I saw the details of the ship, and it looks fascinating. A brand new concept, especially there's not too many of this sustainable thing in the upper luxury space yet. You're sort of groundbreaking with this. I know I've seen it in some expedition ships, but it sounds like what you're trying to do with this is really revolutionize how you look at sustainable cruising.
Absolutely. Think of it. The power of the fuel cell that we have is 20 times bigger than the biggest ever made before on a ship. So that's really something remarkable. And I didn't mention all the other things about, water production, right. Water treatment, accommodation for the crew. A lot of new things that are all intended to point into this direction. So sustainability is very high on our list and is a top priority. And we're very fortunate to have Royal Caribbean giving us this opportunity, because of course those are all big investments, and they are made for a very good reason. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, when this comes out, you got to take me down there to show the engines and everything else.
Sure, it's going to be a long visit because there is a lot to show. Yes, yeah, absolutely.
Well, Roberto, thank you very much for taking the time here. We're at ILTM Con, which is great to be back. We were here 2 years ago, and we're back. Everyone's that's really hopeful about what the future holds, and I'm very pleased and hopeful about your new ship. It looks like it's going to be an amazing one.
Thank you very much. I look forward to seeing you all at our next inaugurals. Thank you very much.
I'm James Shillinglaw, and this is Insider Travel Report.